Lesson 14. Sources of energy. Sources of energy. The sources of energy which are used in the form of natural availability are called primary sources of energy. They are of two types: renewable sources of energy. The energy sources which can never be used up fully, or if they are once used up they can be replenished or renewed by natural cycles, are called renewable sources of energy. Non-renewable sources of energy. These energy sources are formed in nature, taking very long duration, maybe millions of years. Coal, natural gas, petroleum, firewood, coke, etc. Fossil fuel. Fossils are remains of prehistoric animals or plants buried under the earth millions of years ago. Fossil fuels are formed from living matter by the decomposition in the earth's crust, buried long ago. In the earth's crust, the living matter decomposes into coal, petroleum and natural gas, due to chemical effects condensed by pressure, heat, bacteria, and in the absence of oxygen. Coal is a mixture of carbon compounds of free carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and small amount of nitrogen and sulfur compounds. The slow chemical process of the conversion of wood forms the coal under the earth's crust. This process is called carbonization. This carbonization is a very slow process, and may take thousands of years. Mineral oil, petroleum. Petroleum is non-renewable fossil fuel. The word petroleum is derived from Latin words petra and oleum, meaning rock and oil respectively. The crude oil petroleum is a complex mixture of many solid, liquid and gaseous hydrocarbons, containing soil particles, water and salts. Petroleum is formed by decomposition of the remains of microscopic plants and animals, microorganisms buried under the sea millions of years ago. The petroleum thus formed gets trapped between two layers of non-porous rocks. Natural gas. Natural gas is non-renewable source of energy. It fulfills about 20% of the world's energy requirement. Natural gas is formed under the earth by the decomposition of vegetable matter lying underwater. The decomposition takes place by anaerobic bacteria in the absence of oxygen. Natural gas consists of mainly methane, CH4, about 95%, with small quantities of ethane, C2H6, and propane, C3H8. Alternative sources of energy. The major portion of the world's energy consumption comes from the petroleum products like petrol, diesel, coal, natural gas, etc. At the present rate of consumption of such energy, it may be exhausted in 2 or 3 decades. On the other hand, it takes millions of years for the formation of such fuels. This depicts the probable dearth of such fuels in the near future as a vicious problem. To avoid such a crisis, we have to search other renewable and inexhaustible forms of the energy. The renewable inexhaustible sources of energy used instead of non-renewable or depletable sources of energy to avoid energy crisis are called the alternative sources of energy. Conservation of energy. Energy crisis. Energy is the most important part of our life, which is obtained from various sources. For sustaining our lives, the major sources of energy are the sun, water, coal, natural gases, LP gases, petroleum products, wood, etc. At present world, more energy has been used up due to overpopulation. On the one hand, there has been an overexploitation of the non-renewable sources of energy, and on the other hand, there has not been enough search for renewable sources of energy.